Hello, I'm Feldrin and this is Dungeon Siege 3. Last time we finished up the optional quests in the village of Ravens Rill, and this episode we're going to continue with the main quest series, so let's head out into the caverns and let's see whether we can find Katerina or her sister. I've also slightly changed the focus on statistics and equipment that we've had going on. I'll get to that in a second by showing it on the statistics screen. It's a lot easier there. But I first want to get through, yes, this fight. Well, usually there are more than two, really. Usually there's a whole group of these guys over here. But apparently we've only gotten two enemies and some witches, a new enemy type. Witches aren't that dangerous. They have low health, but they do try to summon... Yep, there they are, skeletons. Which also aren't that dangerous, to be honest. Right, as I was saying about statistics. I noticed that in the human form, we're usually relying on the special attack for the stun chance, and then will is far more important for dealing damage. So I've tried to focus on that a little bit. Whereas in the fire form, I'm usually just blasting away with the auto attack, so to say. And then attack for more damage, agility for more critical chance, and doom for more damage from your criticals is the best to focus on. When we get better skills that deal more damage, I might try to focus on something else.
Oh good, you've come. I was beginning to fear my sister was too late, and you were killed or taken by the others.
As we've had a very small vote on what to do with her, trust her or not, and we're going with the trusting thing, let's try to pick the more positive choices, or at least neutral ones.
I'm alive and still free. Do you know of any others who escaped?
You weren't the only one to escape the slaughter at the estate, but the others were soon recaptured or slain.
The Lescanzi took prisoners? Where are they being held?
In this very cave. At least one is still alive, maybe more. I offer you this. A key that will open the prisoners' cages. If you hurry, they might still be saved.
What are the Lescanzi planning to do with the prisoners?
They'll be held here until the witches have prepared their rituals. Then they will be... questioned.
They'll be tortured for information, you mean?
Perhaps that is how your people question their captives. We Lescanzi are more direct. The witches will prepare a sacred fire, into which the captives will be thrown. At the moment of death, their souls will be snared by magic.
What happens to their souls after the witches snare them?
A witch can wring knowledge from a soul like water from a sponge. There is no resisting such magic, even for the strongest. And when this spell is done, their souls will crumble into nothing.
That's a pretty novel though effective ways of interrogation.
What kind of opposition can I expect?
Doubtless you have faced Lescanzi mercenaries already. More await you below, but you've made it this far. They should prove little challenge. The witches may give you more pause. Their spells are deadly, and they have power over the dead. Be wary, but moreover, be quick.
Actually, let's ask her who she is. It's nice to get an introduction.
I need to know more about you before I agree to this. How can I trust you?
I have not lured you into a trap. Is that not evidence of my good intent? But if you insist, my name is Leona, and I have goals that are not shared by my kinsman. Is that sufficient? Or shall we dicker about as the flames grow hot?
Very well. I'll accept your gift. And if it turns out to be genuine, you'll have my thanks.
I am pleased to see I was right about you. Go now. It would be better if I were elsewhere. Perhaps we'll speak again after this affair is finished.
Alright, so apparently there is another member of the Legion that is currently being taken prisoner, and we're going to try and rescue him. Huh, that's funny. I actually just noticed that you can dodge bullets. Because apparently bullets have a travel time, just like arrows. Damn, that's a lot of people. But the stun is working nicely there. Archers can be quite annoying. Luckily there are a lot of these health orbs around, but there's another one of those witches. They are usually, well, late to the party, to be honest. As I was saying about archers, archers can be quite annoying. They are not so dangerous from a long distance, because they have two attacks. One is an arching shot, and you can easily evade that. But when you get close enough, they start to fire away at you with a shorter range shot that is direct. And then it's not going in an arch. I'm losing concentration. Right. Good. Yes, this is how I want things to go. I'm talking about archers because we're actually going to be meeting a smaller boss before the end boss of this area, which is an archer. Not the end boss, I mean, the smaller boss is an archer. Alright, apparently this is just an area full of loot. And we can't use that yet, we can't use that, and we can't use that either. Alright, let's continue where we left off. Ah yes, more archers. And I think I see another witch there in the distance. These guys usually have a lot of health, but that's the only thing they got going for them. They are way too slow. They do deal a lot of damage if you let them, but, well, it's your own fault if you do let them. And I believe the added focus on criticals, as well as the doom that we had going on, is working nicely with the auto attack in this form. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be relying on that later on. Where's the level up? Come on. Alright. Yeah, I'm still going to pick more crushing impact for the chance to stun. And over here, it's boring, but I want to finish Radiant Will. Focusing on agility is not a stupid thing to do, not at all. But you're going to have to get more points in agility the higher level you get. It scales with enemy levels. So if I'm not going to improve the amount of agility that I have currently, then later on I'm going to do less criticals. The same goes for a lot of other things that rely on chance. You're going to have to constantly improve those if you want to get the same chance. I have no idea why sometimes the special ability tags go off in a totally different direction from what I want. It's a bit annoying. God, that's a lot of items I have no use for whatsoever. Let's get a heal going. I believe we're going to be meeting a SIP boss quite soon. Yes, you can already see the aura there in the distance. That is the sub-boss of this level, Barbet. He's an archer. And he can be quite powerful. He has 2 attacks, as all archers do, but his attacks are somewhat augmented. One again is an arching shot, and the other is a direct shot, but instead of 1 arrow he fires 3 arrows. And if you stand too close to him, it'll have a shotgun effect. Alright, that was the sub-boss, and now we're going to get into a real fight. So before we do that, let me equip, or at least see what kind of new items we've gotten. Ah yes, last time we got the Fiery Maul of the Storm, but I'm currently preferring the Stunning Staff. Stagger is a chance to stun enemies, and as we're using the human form and the special attack to stun already, I wanted to augment that a bit further. Everything else doesn't seem worth it right now.
It seems the Dark Sister smiles on us. She has brought the last of the wayward children to us. Release your prisoners and leave in peace, and I'll spare your lives. Ha! You are a bold one, but I'm afraid not. I fear my employer far more than I fear you, little legionnaire. But now that you are here, you have saved us the trouble of hunting you down.
This isn't a very difficult fight, but it's a very busy fight, and there's a lot going on. First, get rid of the ads, which I believe we've already accomplished. Yeah, let's heal up for a second. There we are. Alright. I think I saw an archer somewhere, I want him dead as well. Whatever these witches throw at you, don't stand in it and dodge when they do that thing. Just like with the archer that we met earlier, their multiple projectile attack is can have a shotgun effect. I think that's just... Yep, that's a low-level witch. And now it's only Vera. That is a short-range AoE she's currently doing. So you're basically not supposed to stand around her. And that was her shotgun ability. But I really wanted to try and put a flame under her butt. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to heal up again. It's not a difficult fight. You just need to survive the first onslaught. And good, let's see what else we've got about here. A bubbling cauldron that boils violently. Typical witchcraft. No items? No. Various unpleasant objects, a vial of small teeth and other witchy crap. Alright, I believe that's it. Well, let's rescue our buddies then.
Is it true? You're with the Legion? After what they told me, I feared I might be the last. But were you at the estate? How did you get out?
Are you blind? Seriously, your eyes don't look right. Oh well, this is Lucas.
Giscard survived as well. Neither of us would have gotten out alone.
Good old Martin. His father died with mine when the Morn wheeled. If we live through this and rebuild the Legion, he'd make a fine Grandmaster.
He'll be the first companion that joins us. Let's see.
Are you from a Legion family?
Sorry, I should have introduced myself properly. I'm Lucas. Montbaron.
You're the son of Hugh Montbaron? So the estate that burned down, that was yours?
My family's estate, not mine. I had no love for that place. No real memories of it either. Better that it's gone. We ought to put that part of our past behind us.
It sounds like you missed the gathering too. Tell me what happened.
I arrived late. Some sort of trouble's brewing in the south. Another battle between Jane Cassinda and the Royals, I expect. Delayed me a bit. When I got to Raven's Rill, the Lescanzi were already here. I didn't really plan on raising a fuss, thought I'd just head for the estate. Then I caught sight of a man fleeing the town, with his little boy in tow. They didn't even see the Lescanzi behind them.
This is another mechanic the game introduces without telling you, really. Depending on which conversational options you pick, either with him or sometimes with other people when Lucas is in your party, you're going to gain influence with your characters. And that's going to give you bonuses.
The Legion was sworn to protect the people of Ebb, even at grave personal risk.
I can practically hear Odo gnashing his teeth. Another idealist. Now I've got two of them. Anyway, idealism saved my life. If I hadn't helped that man and his child, I probably would have died at the estate with all the rest.
I think I'm going to try and get as much influence with everyone as possible, unless you don't want me to, really.
Odo and Martin are waiting. They sent me to find survivors.
I knew Odo would get out alive. The old man's a survivor, I'll give him that. But lead on. I'll follow close.
Alright, so we've got our... Shut up! We've got our first companion. If we... Oh, yes, we've got to level up him as well, of course. Right, let's talk about Lucas. Just like us, he's got 3 stances. His first stance is a single target stance with a sword and a shield, and his current ability allows him to stun an opponent for 3 seconds, but it deals not a lot of damage. His second ability is his AoE stance, and it's an AoE ability. It's a 2-handed sword, and with this attack he dashes forward through a whole bunch of enemies. It's a very fun and useful ability. I hope he's going to use it. Finally, his healing ability is basically the same as ours. So let's put a point in that and continue. Ah yes, now the proficiencies. I'm not going to go in depth with each one of them, but there is one thing which will be very useful on hardcore difficulty, I believe, which is his healing ability and then live by the sword. 3 points into this will give him 15% lifesteal per rank, while Graceful Repose is active, and that will make him a lot more sturdy. At least I hope so. And with the talents here as well, the first points are going to be a bit boring, with just increasing his attack. Good, let's save the other one.
Thank you. Are you a legionnaire too? I knew there must be a few of us left. Wasn't sure you'd find me here though. At least not in time.
So you're descended from the old Legion too?
Yes. My name's Armand Dublanc, grandson of Crespin Dublanc. He died in Stonebridge 30 years ago before I was born. Our family had an estate in the farmlands, south of the city. We hid there for a long time, but Jane Cassinda found us. She killed my parents, my brother and sister too. I was the only one who got out.
What was that witch planning to do to you?
I don't know. At first I thought she was going to question me. I told her she wouldn't get any secrets out of me, but she just laughed. And then she and her friends lit that bonfire. If you hadn't gotten here when you did, I think she meant to burn me alive.
Do you know if anyone else made it out of the estate?
I don't think so. At least I haven't seen anyone from inside this cage.
How did you end up here?
I got captured at the estate. When the others ran, I stayed behind to protect some injured men. I killed a few mercenaries, but they must have knocked me out and carried me here.
Yeah, that seems a bit suspicious. This guy's a bit of a wet blanket, so,
Why do I find that somewhat hard to believe?
All right, all right. I ran for the back entrance, hid my head on a crossbeam, and woke up in this cage. Happy?
Huh. Yeah, actually I am happy with that.
We need to get you out of here. You should be safe to head back to the chapter house.
Guess I owe you one. All right, I'll meet you at the chapter house. And be careful.
Alright then, I believe before we head back to the chapter house we're going to run into another conversation.
Well, you certainly handled that with more aplomb than I expected. Bravo, my dear. Now then, since you've accomplished your goals, I wonder if you wouldn't be willing to do me a favor.
Well, as we've voted to trust her, let's just say of course.
You helped me. Returning the favor is the least I could do.
Lovely. It's so nice when one's faith in people is rewarded. I have come into possession of a key that opens the gates of Gunderic Manor. I need a bright, clever girl to go in ahead of me and make it safe. So naturally, I thought of you, my dear.
Well, we want to do it, I guess, but what is Gunderic Manor?
I want to know more about the manor first.
Gunderic Manor was where the Legion trained its mages. They are all long dead, of course, and the house abandoned, but it may still prove useful.
What do you want out of Gunderic Manor?
What does any self-respecting witch want out of a place like that? Magic, my dear. Before the Legion was destroyed, Lord Gunderic studied all manner of sorceries. Legion magic, Lescanzi magic, the spells of the first people.
Surely you can't hope to learn all those magics yourself.
Perhaps I can, and perhaps I cannot. Still, just to have a resource like Gunderic's libraries. And of course, it would be quite the bargaining chip.
You already have the key. What do you need from me?
Gunderic Manor is abandoned, but it is not empty. Lord Gunderic and his dead servants still roam the halls, slaying any who intrude. My arts give me some little power over the dead, but not that much. I need the manor to be cleared before I take possession.
Why do the dead walk in Gunderic Manor?
I've heard many tales. Some speak of Lord Gunderic's daughter dying young, but still being seen about the manor. Others speak of Gunderic himself. When the Legion made its final stand, Stefan did not stand with them. He remained within his manor, with his family and his most trusted students. Some say that cowardice damned him. Others that he tried to enact a terrible spell to end the war then and there. Tried and failed.
Well, there seems nothing objectionable about at least clearing out Gunderic Manor, so let's do it.
Alright, give me the key. I'll go look into it.
Wonderful. Such generosity deserves an immediate reward, so I'll tell you what I know of those who hunt you. The attack on the Montbarren estate. Lescanzi mercenaries did the bulk of the fighting, but their leader was a woman named Rejani.
That's not much to go on. Can you tell me anything about her?
I do not know who she is, or perhaps what she is more apropos, but she has great wealth behind her. She hired half the Lescanzi clans in southern Ebb and marched them here to stop you, to stop the Legion from being reborn. You might be interested to learn that she has bivouacked herself in the town hall. If you desire vengeance, that is where you should go.
If she's that powerful, I could use more assistance than just her name.
She is powerful, but I am not without my own power. Deliver Gunderic Manor to me, and I may just have something for you to even the field. Here then, take the key. I will see you again after the manor's current residents have been evicted. That door leads back to the forest. May the Dark Sister go with you, and the faithful hound guard your path.
Alright, now that we have freed Lucas, let's head back into the chapter house and see what Odo has to say. Oh, and there's Katerina. Oh, there's some piece of... yes, this is official lore. Right.
Ah, there you are. I wanted to thank you for trusting me, in spite of my Lescanzi blood.
Where will you go now?
I will return to my family. My sister still has many plans that will require my distinctive talents. I do hope to see you again soon, but for now,
Hear that? Trouble coming. Lots of large fellows with swords, I'd say.
The mercenaries are returning from Raven's Rill. They are looking for you, I think.
Will you help me fight them?
No. If they see me here, they will know that Leona has betrayed them. Faithful Hound protect you, and perhaps we shall meet again.
Ah, yes, well, before we get into a fight, let's just quickly loot everything. Also, something I've been trying to say all along, but was interrupted by all those conversations. If we hadn't picked Angeli, but actually had picked, for example, Lucas, the first companion that we had met in the caves just a while back, that would have been Angeli. Well, that's a lot of witches. But now, at least, we're no longer fighting solo. And Lucas can serve as quite a nice tank for us. Ah, that was his dashing ability. It deals quite a lot of damage. So, with the caves cleared, we've actually also gained another power sphere. At the moment we don't have much use for that, other than using it on our healing abilities. But once, let's just go into the abilities screen so I can show it to you. Once we have used our abilities often enough, so that the mastery bar will fill up, the Aura of Immolation, they are both going to take a while, and this is going to take ages. We gain the ability to empower these abilities, and for example, when empowered, Spinning Kick knocks down all enemies struck by Anjali's leaping attack, and the Aura of Immolation, the benefits are shared with the party when the ability... No, wait, this is the healing. Yes, of course. So then we basically heal our entire party, and this one, let's see, it burns with greater intensity. Alright. Well, let's head back to the chapter house, and I believe I'm going to stop it there for now. And then... God, Lucas is just loving this, isn't he? Right, as I was saying, let's stop for here now, and then I'll see you next time. Have a good evening.